Hell
man,
yes,
that intro
what an
is
intro.
Still fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes,
baller.
it is.
Proud of that.
I had my
riff.
headphones maxed out there.
I did
It was
too.
loud.
And
It was
oh my
loud.
god.
Hey,
Blew out
that's
my
the best.
eardrums.
That's the best way to listen to it. Turn that shit up.
I
Right.
did. It's sweet, man. That's really good. Holy smokes.
I did have to move Tyler over so that way my helmets in the background weren't covered up by the logo in the corner. So,
That's fair.
all right, what's up, everybody? I'm Willie Mack. We got the commish over here, the champ, Captain Clutch, with his Raiders stuff. At least he has something to celebrate. And Trey,
Does he have something to celebrate?
yeah, he won the fantasy football league last year. That's what I was talking
Oh,
about,
yeah.
because it's
He
obviously
cheated.
not the Raiders.
Man, what's up with this cheated shit?
You
go.
cheated.
We got rings
You
going
know what
off
I'm
the
talking.
floor.
You know what
over
I'm
here.
talking about.
I'm trying to make it right. I'm sorry.
We are going to recap week 4 and talk about week 5 and all the shit we have to talk about so we can shoot it, however you want to say it. We'll get right into it. I'm going to try to figure out how to add this without screwing it up. Go over there.
Put us to full screen.
All right. So,
Hey man, this confetti bullshit in the corner makes me think that I might get my 5th grade birthday party.
is that better?
Must have been a
No, I
fifth
think I
grade
like the
birthday
confetti
party.
shit better, but
Make up your mind, all right? First, I want to talk about my team absolutely going off. We all shit on them last week, and we talked about it after
So
the
dumb.
trade about how I was going to, just try to mail it in already. And I score 179.62 points, which Sweet Pea barely beat me out for highest scoring team this week.
Oh shit!
Yeah, by what?
Yeah, it's like
point.
a 1.5 or something. Yeah.
1.8 to 1.16. So,
Dang.
defeated Hayden, who was the top team in the league. Beat him by 50 points. That was interesting, though. Hayden and Grant Collins, both the top 2 teams in the league, and they both struggled this week. So, our fantasy league can go either way.
Apparently, selling out is the best way to go. Jeez.
Yeah,
It's not going to work out for me very much longer. Don't you worry.
Sell your stars.
I'm projected to get 108 points this week, so we're okay.
Well, shoot, what were you projected last week? Because you scored
105.
Yeah, so you
It's
doubled
fine.
your projection.
Yeah. I'll take whatever I can get. Tyler beat Grant Robinson 152.2 to 104.56. Trey laid a big goose egg against Wendell. 108.
And that motherfucker had 2 zeros, bro. 2 zeros.
And
on
you
his team,
still
and
got
I
that
still
ass
lost.
waxed. Oh, Trey with the worst team of the
It
week.
hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Chase now moving out to being the sole number 1 team in the league, 153.92 to 100.7 over Grant Collins. And then Sweet Pea beat Jed 180.78 to 138.22. Jed did beat the median, so he got his first win on the season. We don't have anybody in the doghouse anymore, so that's good. And I would point out the standings before we go either way, get into it too far. The East with Hayden, Tyler, Wendell, myself, and Grant Robinson are all within 2 games. 5-3, 4-4, 4-4, 3-5, 3-5.
Damn.
And then you got the West. Chase at 7-1, Sweet Pea 6-2, Grant Collins 5-3, Trey at 2-6, and Jed at 1-7. So it'd be interesting to see how these play out once we get to the playoffs. Any other thoughts on these games before we go any further?
Well, I was watching your video last week, and I remember talking about how G-Rob's team is really good, but he got hurt all of a sudden. And I know
Yeah, he
whenever
did.
he started out in the regular or at the start of the season, we were like, man, his team's gonna be hard to beat. And now, he's 3-5, he's dropping.
Mhm.
It's literally just amazing how it can flip like that. It's crazy.
Yep.
I just noticed Crowley's comment about the intro didn't play over the stream.
Well, we can run the
No.
intro real quick just so everybody can appreciate it.
Hey.
I think that
I'm
we
not.
can do that.
Yeah, hey, just run that shit, bro. Can I have just a button where I can play it?
I have a button I can play it. Here we go. We're
All
gonna
right,
we're gonna
let's
roll
do
the intro again just for you guys,
All
since
right, let me turn
apparently
down
I
the
don't know what I'm
volume.
doing. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one ear out because it's loud.
appreciate the info there, so we can put that sweet ass intro back on
Hell
for
yeah.
everybody.
I'll
gotta
play
get that
multiple
going.
times if need be.
Yeah,
Now, is he on the? Is he commenting via YouTube? I
He-
don't see it in our chat here.
he is commenting via YouTube.
Lit.
So, and I did put the scores on the bottom again, just like I did last week, so we'll be able to see those throughout the pod.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the rundown for the week. Tyler, you got the top 5 players.
Yeah. Hey, a quick league update too. While give me a second, let me get this pulled up. A quick.
You're supposed to
league
have the
update.
shit ready, man. Come on.
No, I did. I got it. It's ready. Listen,
We are the most unprepared group of bastards you've ever seen in your life.
You better believe it.
let me. pull
Hey,
this
that's what
open.
happens when I prepare. Is that you guys don't prepare?
Wait, you actually have something?
Well, I mean, I'm not playing a joke.
Okay.
And then I have like preparedness per usual for the waiver,
I got you. All right.
which is just like I write it down. Then as I'm reading off this stuff, I think of the things I want to shit talk about as I'm looking.
Fair
at it.
enough.
Okay, quick update. So we talked about a few things last week. The free agency waiver period, that has been changed to what I think we were doing last year. So the only time you're going to have players that are on waivers, sorry, I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Imagine that
The-
hands are getting heavy, huh?
Jesus
The only
Christ.
times that you will have players on waivers is going to be Monday and Tuesday. Every other day, you will be able to pick up players just like a normal run-of-the-mill fantasy league. There's not going to be anything different there. Damn, this one's stuck on my finger.
That's what you get, bitch. I hope it never comes off.
Dude, that hurt.
Gotta wear that shit to the hospital.
Yeah, so we'll quick run through the top 5 scores at each position. I had to go through I had to run through the settings there to make sure that it was done right because I know we had discussed it last week. And anyway, so top 5 at each position. So at the quarterback position, we've got Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson. They just happen to be on the same team. I don't know how somebody pulled that off, but then Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. At the running back position, we've got, of course, Christian McCaffrey with his 4 touchdowns, David Montgomery with a surprising 3, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane,
H-Chan.
and Kyron
right.
Williams. Wide receiver, we've got A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Puka, and DJ Moore. And at the tight end, the wasteland, we've got Cole Kmet, Mark Andrews, Jonnu Smith, Jake Ferguson, and you'll never guess this one, but Andrew Ogletree.
Hey, I would like to point out something that's not relevant to our league, but is relevant to any other league that typical fantasy standards. TJ Hawkinson is the number 1 tight end in fantasy with like 64 points on the season.
Wow.
The kicker for the Eagles, Jake Elliott, has more points than TJ Hawkinson on the season
Wow.
via standard fantasy rankings.
What a surprise.
Oh, I thought you meant like points, like
Yeah.
field goals to touchdowns.
No,
No, you
but
mean like fantasy
Overall
points.
fantasy points on the season, Jake Elliott has more fantasy points than TJ Hawkinson does.
Damn. I want him on my team. I want him as my tight end, please.
I mean, you can add him, but you won't be able to start him anywhere, I don't think.
Can you really?
So
Oh, yeah,
another
you,
thing,
you can add
can I-
defensive players and shit on here.
can I add one more stupid thing that's not related to our league?
Yep.
In the no bench league, Jake Elliott's points scored. He's also the number 1 kicker there, of course. 43.7, 17.5, 26, and 43.8. The scoring, I'm telling you, and the kickers will
I
absolutely
made-
wreck you in that league.
Yeah, and it's my favorite thing because they can score like stupid fucking amounts of points, but you have no idea if they're like
You have
you
no
have less
clue.
of an idea than any other position.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have no idea how much time they're going to be on the field for. You don't know any of that shit, and I absolutely love it. All
It's
about that.
insane.
When it ever came to kickers, like in other leagues that I played in, like I never knew like how I streamed kickers, and they were basically streamed on the okay. Did their team score a lot of points? Okay, I'll just get that kicker. Like
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Nick Folk for the Titans would be a good ad right now because he's made more field goals than he's extra points he's attempted on the season.
Impressive.
So, Trey, you want to talk about the game Sunday or no?
No, I don't actually. I don't want to talk about. I really don't want to talk about football at all.
You're
All
not
right.
in the right spot.
kind of just think I'm gonna pick a different sport to become a fan of.
Like soccer.
Go watch soccer or something.
No. Yeah.
Oh, all right. How does that look? How does that put the projected draft order there?
Yeah, projected draft order. So coming in at the 10 spot, we've got Gaden, followed by his best friend Chase. At the 8th spot, we got Grant Collins at the 7th spot, and myself. 6, Sweet Pea, Will's bringing up the 5, Grant Robinson at the 4, Wendell at the 3, Jed at the 2, and your boy Uncle Norris at the 101, Trey Baird.
Woo, Caleb
I knew
Williams
that was
will
going to be
win.
close with Trey having such a shit week this week.
Yeah, I actually don't think. Let me see what the points were. So
It's got to be really close.
Man.
between who? Between Trey and Jed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's less than 2 points. It's close.
yeah.
It's
I thought
close.
it was.
Man.
Yeah, and
I
then
was
the,
at the 10
the
spot, now at the 8. Is that what you said?
no, you're at 9.
Oh, okay.
You're they're pretty tight groupings really across the board. I think the biggest gap here is between obviously Trey and Jed and Wendell. So but Jed's potential points is 542, where Wendell's all the way up to 618. I think that's the biggest gap that we've got between people. So if you're tracking, your top 2 are pretty well. I mean, if this trend continues, that's going to be it. I know Will has kind of sold the ship, and it's not really working out as you would think that it should work out. But I think that kind of evens out as we go on. But you had a big week, and that definitely doesn't help any for getting a top pick.
No, it doesn't. And then my freaking projected the projected points I could have had was like 205 or something.
It was a
stupid.
lot. Yeah. It was. Actually, I've got that written down here too. I'm on my cool little piece of paper. Or did I write it down? Well, I don't think I actually did write it down. But yeah, it was a lot. It was the most by a decent margin. I think you were up there, and then somebody was at 190 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bunch.
Then this week I play Tyler, who's projected to beat me by 28. Grant Robinson plays Wendell. Let's see. Hayden plays Jed. Chase plays Sweet Pea, and Grant Collins plays Trey. So that's the current matchup. Wendell's currently projected at 89 points, but he has Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin all in his lineup on bye week. So,
yeah, somebody needs to check on that man. Somebody shoot that man a text, make sure he's paying attention because he left Saquon in last week. So somebody needs to shoot that man a message and make sure he knows to make sure he didn't delete the app again.
Are you talking about Wendell?
forget it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man, just let him keep. Well, I mean, if you have a week like I had, it's not gonna matter. He could leave those people in, and you can still win a game. Everybody on my team scored points last week, dog, and I still lost.
Yep. It was bad. It was just a rough weekend for you overall.
See, I'm pulling it up now just to look at it.
I mean,
shit the bed. You had 3 players meet projection or better. Oh, 4.
83 points, dude. I'm just now looking at this. What is that, 17 points away from the next fucking lowest person?
Dude, it was, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
Wendell.
Grant Collins had 100.7.
Yeah.
Hey, I meant to make this comment when we were talking about the matchups. It's getting harder and harder to reach the median. I get a bunch of, especially this past weekend, let me tell you, I was getting touchdown, notifications and whatnot, and, big plays notifications. Oh, I must be doing pretty good. And when I go back, I'm like, shoot, I may not get the median.
It is, dude.
The
You're
median
right.
week
How
1
are
was
you
so
concerned
low.
about getting the fucking median?
Because
What do you
Well,
even- what do you?
No, I scored 152, and let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. I was only 4th at 152. I was 4th. 152, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
And I'm skating.
And you
the
were
median.
almost 30 points behind the guy that scored the most.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of share the same sentiment. I think it was week 2 was kind of odd, but every week, I feel like my
the
team
points are getting more and more.
Yeah, it's more and more, and we haven't changed any scoring settings. I don't think.
No.
No.
Besides, adding a wide receiver.
Well, I think we mentioned it,
That's fair.
the the first podcast we did was that the highest scoring player in week 1, the highest scoring team, would not have reached the median in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
Yes.
we still got that
Huge
going
jump.
on. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hey, before we move on to a different topic, one more thing to share. We're still doing the 10 a week to the top scorer. So far we've got Grant Robinson week 1, we've got Chase at week 2, we got Hayden at week 3, and Sweet Pea at week 4. So
I was gonna ask that, make sure that we were still
Yeah.
doing that and had
Yeah.
that updated, because that's that's
yeah,
also
I
important.
had been thinking I wrote it down last week and had honestly forgot about it. So I'll make sure to kind of hit on that here so everybody knows. And I'll once we start getting people stacking on top of one another, like somebody getting multiple weeks, I'll just say what the people are. I'm not going to go through week by week.
Well, if you want to, you can send it to me ahead of time, and I can put it on the bottom, kind of like what we got here with the points.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Just
It's a
week
good idea.
1 winner, week 2 winner.
I wish there was a way for me to stack those to where they could just roll in one after another. But if I click on another one, it takes this one away. So,
It's
and I don't really want to put it all in one box and have it just scrolling all together because that looks like shit.
Put it all
Anyway.
there. It'd be fun.
Yep. Injuries, big topic. We got a couple guys that have been designated to return from injured reserve, which that means, for those of you that don't know, which I assume everybody does, but if you're on IR, you have to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. And if you get designated to return, that opens up a 21-day practice window for you to practice with the team while not counting against the active roster. And then at any point in that 21-day window, they can put you on the active roster and you can come back and play. If they don't activate you within that 21-day window, you go back to IR, and I believe you have to stay on it for the rest of the season at that point. So,
Jonathan
yeah.
Taylor,
yeah,
they better come to an agreement.
he was a full participant at practice, and apparently that relationship has gotten a little better. So, Chase, I don't know if you want to talk any more about that or any other injuries.
I don't believe it. That's
I don't either.
Basically, what it comes down to.
I feel like he's going to want to play and try to prove how good he is, or he's going to fake an injury like the NFL says that the PAs told running backs to do.
But if you do that, what was I hearing at the beginning of the year that they could like basically restart this whole process and do it all again next year because it delays that year of the contract if he doesn't play like a single game or something?
Yeah, if he holds out.
Oh, okay.
That's what it does. If he's injured, it still counts.
So what's to stop him from like saying, okay, I'm good to go. Like from a health standpoint, I'm good to go. I waited my 21 days or whatever he did. Let's say he waits to the very end. He doesn't get a contract. He goes out and he plays one snap, and then he tells the coach, hey, don't put me back. Like I'm not going back out there. What's to stop him from doing that?
Considering a holdout, right? Because I mean,
that would be, I imagine, a lot of legal stuff between the NFL and the NFLPA if he tried to do that.
Crowley said he thinks he's going to fake an injury like Tom Brady used to do when he started losing.
Yep.
It didn't happen very often. It didn't happen very
Like
often.
it torn ACL. He didn't want to play that whole
for the
year. Week one.
He did that week one.
He's like, Matt Castle needs to play some so he can go get a big contract and go play somewhere else and not bug the shit out of me. Hey, funny. So speaking of conspiracy theories, Devontae Freeman liked a tweet that said Kyle Shanahan intentionally threw the Super Bowl up 28-3 so because he knew he was taking the head coaching job at the 49ers and wanted to go get Jimmy Garoppolo from the Patriots.
Bullshit.
Wow. Hey,
So-
No,
story
you're going to throw
about
fucking
Devonta
win in the
Freeman.
Super Bowl? I don't buy that at all.
Yeah. Was up 28-3 and they lose, and supposedly he threw it because he wanted Jimmy G in San Francisco.
How do you purposely lose a game without it being like obvious?
I don't buy that.
I just don't. Especially a 28-3 league. Like,
And what's
you
the
just,
point? Like, how does that help you get Jimmy G?
Well, as I'm experiencing in the Raiders, Josh McDaniels can't even like make a correct play. Like he is making terrible plays every single play. So like, how do you intentionally make a terrible play when you can't even make a good play? I don't understand how you intentionally lose.
You
a
just
game.
go watch a lot of McDaniel's film and just do what he does.
Say,
Just
well,
run the
he-
same plays.
Well, and Shanahan was only over the offense too, so the defense still had to give up 25 points to tie that game and send it in overtime. So,
Yeah, that's a heavy
He thought it was
conspiracy.
funny. He didn't like it because he believes in it.
Dude, there's conspiracy theories all around the NFL that it's scripted and that like There's a lot. Like if
Mhm.
you go down the rabbit hole far enough, you'll find a lot of good stuff there. It's I
Yeah,
mean
definitely.
not to say that it's true or like real, but it's fun to read about.
Crowley also said McDaniels doesn't know the difference between offense and defense.
That's fair.
I agree. I think he's playing baseball or something. My God.
I'm surprised he hadn't tried to sign Tim Tebow back to play quarterback because he was actually somewhat successful with him. Won a playoff game.
The day that he gets fired, I may strike up this live show on a random day, just be live for 24 hours, just drinking. I'm gonna celebrate.
The Raiders fired McDaniels.
Yeah, if you pay
Y'all are
me
still gonna
$10,
be mad afterwards.
exactly. Amen. Caleb Williams, here we come. That's what I hope.
Will, do you remember the year? So for those watching who haven't been in the league for the whole time, it's been up for 8 years. Do you remember whenever you got Devonta Freeman?
Oh, I remember that.
Because you picked him up off waivers because somebody got hurt and you picked him. So here's
and he went off like immediately.
he went off. He was so good. So
that was the year I won, wasn't it?
Yes, this was the year that I was staying at your house. I lived with you, and we were talking about football. We would play football on NFL, whatever, at night, and we were talking about it, and we got to talking about waivers, and I had my waivers already put in, and you said something about. I was like, "Well, who are you picking up?" And you were like, "I'm not going to tell you because then you'll put in a waiver form." And I was like, "I won't do that." And then, so you told me you're picking up Freeman, and I was like, "Fuck, I got to take my waiver out." So I took my waiver out, and you got him, and that was to say Crowley was in there that year. So that was the year that like Tyler Eifert was really good, and
Didn't you
Lamar
get
Miller was
Odell
good.
Beckham that year too?
No, I think that was the year. That was the year before because Hayden was. That's the same year that Hayden dropped T.Y. Hilton. And I picked up T.Y. Hilton and I picked up Odell Beckham that game. I think it was like after his 8th game of the season or 8th game because he was hurt like for a while and he didn't start playing until week 8. And week 8, he got like 8 targets or 8 receptions or something. And I was
that was like the first or second year.
Yeah, that was early. That was really early. Yeah. Hell, I still remember Grant had a team one year that was Des Bryant, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Matt Forte, and Alfred Morris. And we drafted at B-Dubs, and he's sitting there. I really think it was B-Dubs, and he says, "Yeah, nobody's gonna beat me this year." And I was like, "This is before it was this league. This was when it was the Brescia Golf League."
Yeah,
and he was right. He stomped the shit out of everybody. Yeah, it was not good.
And then he left the very next year.
And he left.
He said, "I'm out."
Go out on a high note. Fuck y'all.
Speaking of Devonta Freeman, I can't remember who it was that had him this particular year, but I had Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell when they were 1 and 2, and I was fucking wrecking. And I needed Devonta Freeman to score less than 31 points or something like that. He scored fucking 33, and I lost by like 2 points. And the next fucking week, if I had been playing anybody, the next closest person would have still been 50 points away from me.
Oh, you have no room to talk. If I started Miles Sanders 3 years in a row, I would have won all 3 years. But instead, I didn't start him, and that's why my team name was Start Miles Sanders for 2 years.
That's why I call you Captain Squarehead.
That's where this one. That's where these two came from. In case you were curious. Both of these rings, those come from your shit decision to not start Miles Sanders.
I think it was Darius Slayton, and I feel like it was like Jerick McKinnon or somebody. I forget.
You know, the year that Grant had all those players, I had Eddie Lacy, and I don't remember who. I'm sure I had Gronk because I had a hard on for Gronk, but he had Eddie Lacy, and I played Grant in the championship. And that morning, this is before Evelyn and I were married. I was down in Katie's. And we were going to church, and I didn't have service at church. And I was sitting there thinking, who am I going to start? Like, I don't know what to do. I started Dante Moncrief, and he scored like 1.5 points, and I ended up losing. It was a close game. Like, it was close. It was close enough that Grant and I were talking about splitting it. Like, we had conversations about just splitting the pot 50-50 and calling it a wash. Those were good times. That was fun.
I wish. Damn. So I've gone back in the NFL fantasy to see my teams, but it won't let you see any records or anything unless the league's been activated.
Yeah.
So like I can see what my team names were back then, but I can't see anything else. I had Suck on my defense, and I need Viagra for my Ditka.
I remember that one.
So, yeah, pretty classic names there.
Oh, listen to this. So I pulled up Odell Beckham 2014. So he didn't play the first 4 games. He played the next 3, and he had 5 targets, 4 targets, 6 targets. I picked him up after the week 7 where he had 20 points, and then he went off. He had 23.6, 18.9, 15, 36, 16, 30, 42, 34, 36. And I remember Nixon was like, I'll give you anyone on my team for him. He said, I don't care who it is. Gosh, those are good times.
Hey, this is kind of good news to Hayden, which I'm sure he's well aware of since his team name is literally this guy. Cooper Kupp started limited practice today. It's like, oh.
Saw that.
But I mean, like, does he really want him back? Because obviously, if he comes back, then they're going to split, I would imagine, split targets with Puka Nacua and then Cooper Kupp. I mean, how close are those names anyways? My God.
Dude, I think I don't know how you could be upset about it. I mean, you're talking about taking away the number 1 DB for the other team because they're going to focus on Cooper Kupp, and he's going to burn them. So now Puka, who's been playing well against the lead already, is now going to be in a –
But with that 50-50 the points, and now you have to put it to 2 players to 2 spots, which I guess is not a bad thing since he's scoring like 30 points a game.
Well, look at Tutu Atwell. I mean, how's he doing? Let's see. Tutu Atwell.
I don't think he had a good week last week.
He didn't have a good week last week, but he had 9 targets. He's had 8 targets, 9, 9, 9 for the first 4 weeks. So 17 points, 15, 17, 7. So it's not like he's bad.
Matthew Stafford is going to sling it. You don't have anything to worry about.
I believe that.
Listen, look at Crowley. So listen. So the no bench league, I don't think Chase is in it. So I had a trade offer. This guy put Jamar Chase on the trade block. So I sent him a couple trades for him, and he would send me stuff back that was kind of crazy. I sent him one this morning, and he sent me one back that was like for a quarterback, but there's no bench, so like I can't, like I'm not going to drop Josh Allen. Anyway, so we agreed to terms. I sent him Terry McLaurin and DK Metcalf for Jamar Chase, and then I picked up Cooper Kupp off of the waivers. So it worked out. It's going to work out good. So my team here, Chase, let me read you my team. You'll appreciate this. So I've got Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Mark Andrews. That's my starting. That's my starters.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it was a wash for me this week. And he messaged me just a minute ago. Let's see. It was an hour ago, and he said
some Oracle shit.
He said, laughing my ass off. I just saw that DK is on bye this week because he didn't want Mike Evans because he said Mike Evans isn't playing this week.
Sucks to suck.
It's so funny.
My weeks always throw a wrench. This is when we're going to start seeing everybody's team have like no-name players like starting their lineup. These are the next couple of weeks that I get excited because I think week 5, I think week like 7, and then like week, I'm going to guess 11, I don't know, has the most teams on bye week. And so that's where you're going to have to like get your literally bottom of the totem pole players, or maybe even taxi squad players, bring them up and try to play them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
If you want to see no-name players starting, go look at my flex.
All right, I'm gonna go pull
my 3 flex spots have a combined like 20 points projected or something stupid.
Bought 3 players. Oh no.
By the way, I went and looked up Devontae Freeman, and it was 2015.
I did too. I looked it up as well.
Week 3, 42.3. Week 4, 37.9, 31.7, 35.6, 15, 19.1, 21.9, and then didn't play because I think he got hurt.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Wasn't Tevin Coleman on that team? It was Tevin Coleman, but was Tevin Coleman?
I think Tevin Coleman got hurt. Yeah.
Who was in front of Devontae Freeman before he became the number 1 running back?
It was Coleman, wasn't
it?
Literally
just said it.
No. Tevin Coleman was the backup to Devontae Freeman during.
What year was that? Here, I'll find out.
Before
I don't
Tevin
think he
Coleman.
was.
Devontae Freeman.
Was it Steven Jackson? Was he still around there then? Because he was in Atlanta.
Here, I'm about to pull up their roster here. So the 2015 Falcons running back.
Because I feel like Devontae Freeman was the Tevin Coleman of this player whenever those two were the primary running backs for Atlanta. But I can't remember who it was.
I mean, this is
Maybe it
showing
never was. I don't know. Maybe Devontae
Teron
Freeman was
Ward, Devonta Freeman, Patrick DeMarco, and Tevin Coleman. Oh, and Alan Bradford, whoever that is. Was it?
I'm pretty sure
it was
Tevin Coleman
2015,
was the
right?
guy.
I think you're right.
I see. I always thought Tevin Coleman was like always the RB2 behind.
But he
Devontae
was.
Freeman. Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying like before Tevin Coleman was even on the team and Devontae Freeman was on the team, there was like someone ahead of Devontae Freeman. I can't remember who
It was Steven Jackson, I think. Yeah, Steven Jackson was there in 2014.
That had to have been what it is.
But then
yeah.
Freeman was a rookie in 15, though.
So did they
Maybe
have
I'm
Steven Jackson? I
wrong.
wonder if this is what I have as the end of season roster, and
No,
Steven Jackson
Freeman was a
won at the
rookie in
beginning.
2014.
Okay, so then it
So
Steven
was
Jackson.
2014 whenever he?
No,
What did he do?
2014.
What does stats look like in 2014?
Dog shit. He didn't run for more than 38 yards in a game.
Solid.
In 2014?
Yeah, in 2015 was the year he popped off. And in
Which would have been his
2016
second year.
he went off again.
Yeah. And that's when Tevin Coleman came in. But I just for some reason I felt like Devontae Freeman was an RB2, right? At some point behind somebody, and I guess
He
it was Steven
was.
Jackson. Yeah.
It was Steven
I think it was
Jackson his
Steven
rookie year, and I guess that they saw enough out of him that they wanted to.
But
Give him
he
a
was
chance.
behind Tevin Coleman on 15, right?
No,
No,
Coleman
Tevin
didn't come in
was
until
RB2.
16.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, we've been
Damn.
on this for a while.
Hey,
it's
that's
been
why
too
we're
long.
here
I mean,
shooting the shit.
You're
'cause
talking
we
Shooting
get
about
off on
7
tangents.
years ago.
True. I didn't help the situation at all.
Hey, but we're most of the way through all our topics in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Right. Crowley said now Jamar Chase is going to suck because Tyler and I both traded for him on the same day.
Mm.
Well, he's probably
that's
going to
bad.
suck
That's a bad
because
look.
Joe
Probably
Burrow is
right.
going to end up not throwing to him because I feel like they're going to try to set him down to rest.
Joe Burrow is artificial turf away from a torn Achilles. I'm calling it.
Chase, I swear to fucking
dude,
Christ.
Speaking it to
I
existence.
swear to fucking Christ. That happens to my boy. Fucking God, I'm coming on, bro. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna absolutely fucking wreck your
Hey,
shit,
I'm
bro.
not in Owensboro. I'm in the country, dude.
I will fucking find you, bro. I will.
Oh, man.
Fucking make sure. You don't get to fucking work for a week. I'll slash every one of your goddamn tires.
Oh, no.
That motion right there. Fucking, that ain't how you do it, but that's how I'm gonna do it.
I'm just saying, he doesn't look good, dude. He looks hurt. He
I
looks
fucking
hurt.
know. Okay, I watched the game Sunday, most of it until I got sick and quit.
Most of it.
He couldn't move in the pocket.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't worry.
listen.
I
I saw, okay? I wasn't there like you were. Speaking of, what happened to the fucking tickets? I'm glad
I
didn't
totally
go.
forgot.
damn.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You know.
I was watching the game cast and saw Khalil Mack sack, Khalil Mack sack, Khalil Mack sack. That's all I saw all damn game. So whatever.
He got
I mean,
sacked
that's all
3
it
times. Let's just
Six.
be 3.
6.
Was it
No,
6?
Khalil Mack
Got
for the
sacked
Chargers.
6 times.
Second of Raiders.
Or Khalil Mack.
Why the
sacked
fuck are we
6
talking
times.
about that game? We're talking about the Bengals. We don't give a fuck about the Chargers and the fucking Raiders. What? Why are you just randomly talking about another team while we're having a big conversation about the Bengals and
Because fuck
Titans?
the Bengals, they suck.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of room to talk?
No, I don't. All I know is that
Sack,
the
sack. I'm
Bengals
like,
are tied
I
with the
guess he
Raiders.
plays for the
4
Titans? I don't
weeks
think
into the
so.
season.
He's just all of a sudden like, we're talking mid fucking conversation about the Bengals and how bad they were, and he's like, yeah, Khalil Mack, sack, Khalil Mack.
I was trying to
sack.
relate to you because the Raiders didn't have a very good game either. That's all I was saying. I was
It
trying to
didn't
share the
feel-
pain.
Feel like that's what was going on, but I know that you understand how frustrating it is.
Yes.
But
I'm glad we all got to experience this together. That was good.
That's why we're doing this live fucking podcast.
I love this for us.
No editing needed.
No.
Yeah.
This is going straight out there. Oh. Hey, by the way, we have set a new record with 5 people watching. Now it's down to 4, but it wasn't 5.
No way.
So,
We had 5
Oh, no
people in
shit.
here.
yeah.
Because I brought the Raiders up. I'm sorry.
Somebody was
That's
like,
why
I
somebody
can't
left.
listen to any
Yeah.
more of this shit. It's not because you brought the Raiders up because they don't want to talk about the Raiders. It's because you brought them up when you brought them up. They were like, what the fuck is going on in this podcast? Click.
No, hey Trey, weren't you
Promise
talking
I'm like-
about? Hey, you were talking about how we needed better transitions, and that was the transition we were looking for right there.
I just what that
What a
first
segue.
episode we did, it was just like, let's go to this segment, let's go to that segment. I'm like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, this is not smooth at all. We look like we don't know
Oh
what we're
my
doing.
God.
So
I mean, to be fair,
To be fair, I was on my 5th bourbon and Coke. I don't know. I don't remember.
to be fair, man, I had done an 8 ball of fucking cocaine and I fucking banged like 4 hookers on my way to work.
This took a turn.
it's not
Yep.
that long drive.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on that afternoon, bro.
Oh. All right, Trey, continue your rant and tell us about the waivers, and so you can shit on who Jed
Okay,
picked
well,
up.
I hope
hey,
Jed's
listen.
watching. I'm gonna hang on. Before you get to, let me text Jed and see if he's on there. Can you see who's watching?
No, I can just see that there's 3 people.
Hang on, I gotta
Oh,
get
we
rid of
went
this
down
piece
to
of paper.
3. Oh no.
He can listen, Jed. If you're watching,
Oh, are they done
just,
with our bullshit already?
just send a message
Yeah.
in the chat.
Just prepare.
Oh,
All right,
man.
go ahead and spit that word salad.
This has been 3 weeks in a row now. 3 weeks in a row. That we've seen Jed at the top of the waivers. We got Big Jed. $22 on Jaleel McLaughlin. I don't think he's of any relation to that sad lady in the animal commercials. But after this game come Sunday, Jed's probably going to have that theme music playing.
The
Sad
baby
that he even
violin.
spent a little bit of money on this pick.
Oh man.
Coming in at number 2, we got Big Jed again. He dropped Allen Robinson, which I mean, why in the fuck do you have Allen Robinson on your team?
DeAndre Johnson.
That
he
was
dropped him
Chase's
for-
guy for forever.
Oh,
Dude, he was my guy
Yeah.
for forever when he played for the Jags.
Yeah, he fucking burned me one year, and I was like, this guy's garbage.
he's
I
getting
mean,
It
mistreated.
was
Nah,
him
but-
and Alan Hearns.
but
Him and Alan Hearns
he-
were studs.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good, and then I drafted him, and then he's never been good
With
since. So
Blake
maybe I
fucking Bortles throwing to him.
It's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely. amazing.
Anyway, so we got this guy he dropped. Well, no, he picked up for $5. Nick Westbrook something. I can't read my handwriting.
Will can do
I
it.
can't. Yeah.
Another one of those. Another one of those guys. Well, of course you know him because he's a Titans player.
Yep.
That's probably not gonna matter. And then coming in at number 3. And listen, I'm gonna be the most critical that you'd even have this guy on your team. You'd even consider it. He dropped him I'm glad that he's off your team, but you dropped Mac Jones. And this is probably the best because Mac Jones seems like a gigantic fucking cunt. And I'll say that with the chest. He seems like
Say it with your chest.
apparently no one likes him. I don't like him, and I don't even really know anything about him except for that he cheap
I'm
shots a
also not a
motherfucker every
fan.
time they're on the ground. Yeah. Oh, that's your team too. Yeah. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I know.
Call those guys.
Bill
tell them to get rid of
O'Brien
him.
said that was an outlier game for him, and that he'll be good. He'll be better next week.
I doubt
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I
You
hope
gotta say
last
that.
week was an outlier for the Bengals. I hope the fucking first 4 games were just outliers.
Hey,
I tell you what, I have another pick I didn't write down on my thing that I actually like and thought about doing, and then realized that I didn't really need to. Will picked up Jonnu Smith, who is just like absolutely taking a fucking piss in Kyle Pitts Cheerios every
Yep.
Sunday. Just
that's fair.
And Will
Right
put him
in
right up
Cheerios.
into his flex spot too.
I sure shit did.
oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the number 11 tight end. He's gotten, 22 targets the last 3 games?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
number 11. You
Okay,
start
look at
that,
the
man,
rest of
Will.
my
You-
roster and
I
tell me who
know,
the fuck you would start.
That's why I quit
over
talking.
Keanu
That's
Smith.
why I quit talking.
Just mid sentence, like, oh, I'm gonna stop.
I quit. Hey,
Yeah.
before we transition, I just have one little thing. That's it, isn't it, Trey?
That's the song.
I hope we get a copyright
Song.
strike.
Can you just see those sad little animals like that are at those little puppy farms, just looking at the camera, like, "Hey, bro, get me out of here!" And it's like, "Nope, we've got to film this little segment so we can put you on TV. You don't need help right now,
No.
little furry guy. Let's fucking film this first before we help you."
So eating snacks.
I don't think we have to worry about copyright with fucking 4 people watching, so we're good.
Oh
That's
my
fair.
god, that's funny.
No one's watching. I mean, I hope someone watches this, but I don't think anybody
Yeah.
sees its importance. Maybe
We
somebody
might
will
get
get real
copyright in
stoned.
like 5 fucking years when somebody goes back and watch these if we ever get popular. But
Yeah, we're
Could
not
you
gonna
imagine
get
if it's like if that's your job to go back and watch old videos of podcasts to check for copyright claims? Like, let's just assume that's a thing. Like, you have to go back and watch videos of shit like this to see if
I
there's
feel
any
like
copyright
operators
things.
do anyways, or like joint commission.
That would be the worst.
mm-hmm.
That would be the absolute worst.
Don't bring the Joint Commission into this.
Wait, I like the Joint Commission.
Sarah McLaughlin.
Just thought I'd add that one in there.
Shit, hey, we
All
got
right.
a couple of comments on here. Let's see what they're about. Sarah McLaughlin.
It's the one I
He
just put
said,
up on the
"Yikes,
screen.
Chase! I wish that like was over here on the right, or just somewhere where I could see it as it's happening instead of having to click it. Because I had no idea when he said yikes, Chase. I could have made a funny joke about that shit. Because it
Now
means
you-
yikes. But it's all right though.
Yeah, now I
You
don't
know,
know
we'll
what he
figure-
was
we'll
saying
figure this
before.
out.
I'm kind of curious.
It was
too,
when
but-
it was when Trey was threatening you. Is when he sent that.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
1,000%. Shit. Trey doesn't know what the country is. He can't get out of here.
Chase, you live in the city limits.
Your fucking house. Mom and Dad.
Oh. All right, everybody's
I'll figure
favorite
out how to get
segment.
back over there.
Start 'em, sit 'em.
Oh.
Can we
let's
start
go.
with Trey?
Yep. Trey said he's actually prepared, so let's see what he's got.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
okay.
Kate Otten
All right.
and Justin Jefferson.
So no, it's not either, man. I actually do. I'm seriously prepared for this one. All right, so my stardom is my player. I'm going to start his ass because I don't have much of a choice. But I actually do like his matchup this week. I'm starting James Conner, fucking against Cincinnati.
Their
Probably
run
about to
defense
wreck
is
'em.
not great.
Yeah, and he's
They're-
getting the volume.
Their team is not great. But we won't talk about that.
You said it, not me.
Still, I did, but I'm I can admit it. My sit-em.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna say I don't like Puka. However you say his last name.
Nakua.
The guy for the Rams. Don't like him. He's probably going to do good. Like, he's probably going to have a solid game, but he's got the Eagles. And I'm going to say, you're not going to sit him, but I'm going to say I don't like him to score 20 points. Could be wrong. We'll see.
Is 20 points like the marker? Like,
So no, but
Yeah.
I had every year that I had
No, it
every
is.
year. Every week that I had done my qualifiers where my stardom was going to score more than 20 and my sit-em was going to be less than 10. I mean, you don't have
I
to
don't
follow
think he's going
suit.
to
You
score.
can do
I
whatever
don't
you
think he's
want.
going to
but-
score less than 10, but I don't think he's going to get 20.
Makes sense.
Which he's been crushing. He has one game. Less than 20. It's like 12 points, I think.
Well,
maybe
it's
it's
like
2
what we
games.
talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. Is Cousins is on pace for like 6,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, but the team sucks. So
Yeah.
I still
But
think
the
they
week that
trade
he
him
has a down
before-
week, they win.
yeah, right. Yep.
Yep.
And they get Kansas City this week, so that should be a good one.
Oof.
Yeah, 21, 30, 12. Yeah, I think he's going to get ironically, he got 12 points against Cincinnati.
There you go.
Like that's his lowest game was against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But I think he still has a good game. You're not going to not start him, but I think he
Right.
doesn't have a big game.
All right, Captain
So,
Clutch.
preparedness for the win. Captain
All right.
Square.
The the player that I'm liking this week is one of Tyler's good old players, Brian Robinson. I took a look back in his carries and his points, and his first 2 weeks were Arizona and Denver, who are both allowing a lot of rushing yards, a lot of rushing fantasy points. He plays against Buffalo, doesn't do very well. They don't use him as much because they weren't using him in like a third down package of any sort. He didn't really do well against Philadelphia, which is also another good defense. Playing against Chicago, I have a feeling that that guy has a chance to be, top 5 running back, as he was the top running back against Denver when he scored. Well, let's just look over here, 28.9 points. So I don't know if it's going to be up to that mark, but I'll be willing. He's scoring a touchdown, having nearly 100 yards rushing. Players that I don't like right now, it's going to be multiple. Denver wide receivers, any pass catchers. Jets defense just made Patrick Mahomes look like ass against Zach Wilson. Sorry, Russell Wilson has been okay. He's definitely been better than last year, but I just don't think that he's going to have much luck against a good Jets defense. So Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, not very good matchups this week.
All right. Commish, who you got?
Oh, I'm so glad you picked me to go after Chase. So the fact that we don't talk about this beforehand, it makes it great. So my start of the week is also Brian Robinson. So this guy, but it's for similar reason. I mean, essentially the same reason. Here's the thing: last week against Philly, he should have had 2 touchdowns. So he fumbled in the end zone. Like they were on like the 1 or 2, and he bounced off 2 or 3 people. He's like right on the line, and he fumbles, and Terry McLaurin picks it up and scores. But you know what you said
Like
about
damn
Buffalo.
near in.
Yeah, he was. I mean, that would have been
Like,
2 touchdowns. I mean, 18.1 for. Well, no, it would have been 20 because he lost. No, he lost a point for the fumble. So 19 points. You're hella happy with 19 points at a running back. So yeah, and you talk about the week against Buffalo. I mean, he got phased out of that game, but 10 for 70 on the ground. I mean, it's hard to complain. So I think the coaching there really likes him, and I think that he's gonna. I'm with you. I think he's gonna have 100 yards rushing. I think he's gonna have a little bit through the air, not much though. So yeah, I second that. My sit of the week, again, I love that I'm going right after Chase so that I can piggyback on the stuff that he says. So my sit of the week is going to be Cortland Sutton. So here's the thing. Cortland Sutton, I mean, that offense sucks, but if you start Cortland Sutton every week, you're not dissatisfied with it.
He's points every week.
He's the least amount of points he's had is 11.6. That's the worst game he's had, and he just didn't have a touchdown there. But he's had some pretty cheesy matchups: Chicago, Miami, Las Vegas. Washington's not the best. So I think that this week against New York Jets, usually my marker is below 10, but I think he's going to be lower than that. I'm going to put Cortland Sutton below 6. I'm going to put Brian Robinson above 20.
And he's going to have Sauce Gardner every once in a while.
Didn't you shit on Cortland Sutton like at the start of the year? You were like, or it was a couple of you guys were talking about how much you didn't like him.
I still don't. I don't. Out of his 4 weeks, so I mean, hang on, let me pull him back up. You would be happy if you started him, at least in a flex. Like, you're not going to be disappointed in that. But you take away his touchdowns. So week 1, it puts him at 7 points. Week 3, it puts him at 13, which is good. Week 4, it puts him at like 5. So like, you're not happy with it. Like, you're not outside of touchdown scoring for Cortland Sutton. You're not satisfied with starting every. But he is getting the touchdowns, which he could this week too. He could get a garbage time touchdown, but I just don't see it. I think
that's what it's going to take to make him serviceable for sure. I agree.
I'll take an L on that. I'll take an L if he gets a garbage time touchdown.
It's kind of funny that you guys both picked Brian Robinson to start, because I was going to say either Terry McLaurin or Jahan Dotson, because they're playing Chicago, and Chicago is going to be down like 5 defensive starters tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the majority of their. I don't know that they've got anybody that started the season in their secondary that's starting tomorrow night.
That is true. I did see that Jalen Johnson is going to be out, but I didn't guess
Eddie Jackson's also doubtful or out. So yeah, they've got like 5 or 6 defensive backs that are injured. that are
Why is
likely not
Jahan
playing tomorrow night.
Johnson not playing well this year? That was
He's
a
been
guy I was
injured.
hurt.
excited
Yeah, he's
for.
been
Yeah,
hurt.
he just came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was going to be my start. I don't know if Fields can pick up on where he left off last week because Denver hasn't allowed an incomplete pass in the first half of the last 2 games they've played. So
That's a real stat.
That's a real stat. Tua 2 weeks ago did not throw an incompletion in the first half, and Justin Fields did not throw an incompletion in the first half last week.
Dang.
So something to note: whoever's playing Denver, probably not a bad idea to start their quarterback at least for the first half.
I don't think
And
you can not start them after you. Once they're in there, I'm pretty sure they're stuck. You can't switch
Yeah.
them midway through.
We have the commish here. He
Oh,
can
Zach
choose rules.
Wilson. Zach
can
Wilson,
take it.
fucking start him. Just do it. Start him.
Really? Is that because
All
you're going
right.
against the person that has Zach Wilson?
No, it's
Ain't
nobody's
nobody got Zach
Wilson. My sit of the week is going to be the San Francisco passing game playing against Dallas. So Brock Purdy, Debo, Brandon Ayuk. I think McCaffrey should have a good game, but Dallas's pass rush has been outstanding so far. Even though they don't have Trayvon Diggs, they still got Stephon Gilmore in the back end.
Parsons is hurt. That helps.
Parsons was
did
limited
they
in
not
practice today. Yeah.
Did they not get fucking burned last week? Am I fucking wrong? Who'd they play last week?
Bro,
Dallas?
did you?
No, they beat the fuck out of whoever they played last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New England.
But who'd
Are you
they
talking-
played?
Yeah. It was the
Jones,
biggest,
yeah.
the biggest loss that Bill Belichick
Well-
has had as a head coach in New England.
Mhm.
Most points.
Debo got moved back to questionable today as well. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot of. There wasn't any of off of all the Twitter feeds that I was getting. I got like 50 today. There wasn't anything like designating people being strictly out or doubtful or anything. They were just limited in practice, which basically tells me
Hey,
nothing.
Yeah.
While he's watching, I want y'all to help me out with something real quick.
All right.
Debo got moved.
This is what I'm playing against this week. CJ Stroud, Jonathan Taylor,
Stud.
Yes, that seems like
Aaron
a great
Jones, Garrett Wilson. This is who I'm playing against. Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Romeo Dobbs, Dubes, however you fucking Sam Laporta, Devin Achane, Justin Tucker. Goddamn, I'm scared.
You're fucked.
play. Yeah.
What are you?
Listen,
You're talking
listen.
about in the no bench. I was like, what are you talking about? Like this,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
not what you're playing against. So
I
you
got
are-
Debo
you
Samuel, who's
overlap.
questionable. It scares me. And
Do
I
I have any
might take
overlap?
a fucking L this week, bro. I might take.
You-
No, I don't think I can.
I think you're going to.
Yeah, Devin Achane has definitely looked like he is taking the starting role there.
So I
He's
saw
been
somebody on
around.
Twitter say that he's the closest thing to Chris Johnson since Chris Johnson.
Just because of how
Really?
fast he is.
I guess.
Raheem
I didn't
Mostert's
think he
just
was as fast, but he's got some explosive moves.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all
That team.
that's all Miami's
This-
offense is a track team.
Oh my
But he's
god!
fast, yeah.
Literally, like the top 4.
They couldn't beat the Bills though.
Fastest guys in the field are 3 Dolphin players. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Waddle, I
Projected
think
to
like
win
he's
this
6 or
game,
something.
but I don't feel great about it.
Oh, well.
Which league are you talking about? Because I'm super confused.
No bench. I'm obviously not
Oh,
talking about
okay.
our league because I don't have.
Well, no,
I
but
don't-
in our league, I mean, you're playing against Debo, you're playing against Romeo Dubs, you're playing against Travis Kelce. Like, there's a lot of overlap there.
I read a stat. Brandon Ayuk. and
yeah, but I
all of
have
his coaches-
Debo Samuel, and he's questionable. Is why I was saying that. And the reason I was saying is because I'm playing against Caleb, and he's watching the thing. So I wanted to see if y'all help me.
This week.
Oh, boy.
Are you sure, man? I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Stroud has been good,
Hey,
has he not?
I've got one more thing to touch on before we cut this out. Something I have.
No,
oh no,
player profile.
I have 2 things. Yeah, the first one is not a player profile. So I've kind of pitched this to Trey. So this is more of a question for Chase and Will. So I'm going to frame a situation, and I want you two to tell me where you stand on it ethically.
Okay.
So the situation is, let's just do between the two of you. So Saturday night, a trade is proposed from Will to Chase. It sits in Chase's inbox. He's not sure if he wants to do it. He gets busy, does some stuff. 2 o'clock rolls around. The player on Chase's team is now hurt, and the player that Will was going to send him for that player has gone off. Is it ethical for Chase to accept that trade that's still sitting in his inbox, or should he decline it because his player is now hurt? And it's shitty to send someone a hurt player for somebody who is having a good, I'm gonna say good week, but really a decent year.
I mean, that logically makes sense. I would try to reach out and see, one, what the injury is, and two, see, like, if I'm the one sending the hurt player, I'm going to see, hey, do you still want to do this because it's the player's hurt?
I just think all trades.
But I agree with what you're saying.
1,000%, and I mean I agree with you. I think that the trade should be voided, but I think all trades should be voided at the start of every week in terms of like that Sunday at noon, because that is new information that's going to give out. You have to either replay the trade, resend the trade at the end of all the games to make sure that no one's hurt, to make sure no terrible injuries actually raise the level of your player or whatever that is and change the value of the player. And after new information comes in, you have to be able to resend the trade.
I wonder if I can manipulate
I
that
actually
to where
agree with
all
Squarehead
trades-
here.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I'm not against that. So this actually happened in our league with me this week. I was proposed a trade that retrospectively I should have accepted because it was a better trade for me, but I got busy and couldn't focus on it, and it sat there. And Sunday night rolled around, and I had a player who's injured and have no idea how long he's going to be out, and I still have that trade sitting in my inbox that I could accept. I declined it because I felt like it's. I don't think it's the right thing to do anyway. I feel like just
Who
like
are the
you,
players?
I'm going to keep some. I'm going to be coy about it and not tell you because it's a trade that may be revisited. But I had it in my inbox and I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm thinking I should just go ahead and accept this because
Is it in our league?
it is in our league. It is.
Ah.
So you can figure out one side of it, but you won't figure out the other person. But so yeah, so I'm glad I got y'all's take on it. I'm gonna look and see if there is a way to make it where once a player starts their game, the trade goes away. Unless y'all just want to say, I mean, even if it's not a thing on here, we can just set that in stone and let it be a thing. I'm fine with that because I think it's a wrong thing to do. Like for me to have accepted that trade would have been the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who's trying to make this league a shitty place to be. So my goal is to make it a fun place to be and enjoyable. And I don't think that
it's almost like no trade should be accepted between Sunday at noon till Monday night game is finished.
But I don't necessarily agree with that because if I have somebody playing Sunday night that gets hurt, like let's say, because they're running 2 games on Mondays and stuff 2 games on Mondays or whatever they're doing. If you've got somebody in that late game and you need a spot start and somebody will make you a trade,
But if the player is started.
Oh no, it would have to be somebody. Yeah. I think it's a unique situation. I think it'd be like 2 people that are playing on Monday, and you trade them with a team that's
like
out
a guy
of
on a bye week that doesn't play this week, and you're trying to trade them for a Monday night game.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fine. I think you'd have to do it. It'd have to be whenever if one player on one side of the team or one side of the trade start as soon as they start their game, just be done with it.
Yeah, that's the voiding of the trade.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, this is completely separate, but like the Rachaad White and second round pick trade that I put in, I gave that the day before the deadline of last year. And whenever Tyler, you texted me, he's like, "Oh, you're already doing trades, and we just started the trade deadline. The trade of this year." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" That trade went in from week 11 of last year and went into the preseason of this year and didn't even know it. Now, granted, I was totally okay with that trade value, and I think the trade value was fair, But I never knew that I did not take away that trade. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta know the trades that you have out there, but there's not like a notification there to remind you, and you gotta veto those trades or void those trades at some point. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that, like I said, it could get shitty because at the same time, our rules are set the way the rules are set, and you play by the rules. So, like, up until this point, like, let's say that happened, and Chase, you accepted the trade, and Will got real shitty about it. I mean, I don't know that I mean, we could all talk about it, and we could, take it to a vote or whatever, but I don't, based on the rules, I don't know that I would reverse that trade because I mean, just by the rules, that's a okay thing to do.
And that also makes sense.
Yeah, but
Just like how you
damn,
put your coin to the side of the ball and then put your ball in front of the coin. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Is
we've
Emma
all done
awake?
that. Yes, she is awake. She just woke up and said, "Daddy, is that you?"
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up!
Okay, player profile time. So this is it's actually 3 players.
All right.
So these 3 players are the only players that I can find that have had at least 20 points in every single game this year. There's only 3 of them that I can find.
Puka's one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna guess Puka.
Puka's not one of them.
Ah,
Really?
No, he's not either.
Jake-
I just said that he had 12 against Cincinnati.
Oh, I wasn't
Y'all
paying
even
attention to
listen?
you. You said
Of
Kirk
course
Cousins
not.
only had 12 against Cincinnati. Oh, I thought it was Cousins you were talking about.
Cousins only had 16 this week, so otherwise I'd put him out there.
Puka-
Jalen Hurts.
It is not Jalen Hurts.
Damn.
Jalen Hurts. Let me
Three.
find him real quick. I'm gonna try to go through these because I've kind of hit the big names. Jalen Hurts had 19.88 against Tampa Bay and 12.5 against New England. 12.5 against New England.
Oh, okay. All right, Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson is 1.
Okay.
CMC.
Christian McCaffrey is 2.
This guy's gonna be like bottom. No, it's not gonna be Kyron Williams. It's gotta be like a
Crowley, if you got the answer without looking it up, feel free to throw it in the chat.
damn. I'm gonna run through.
It's not Richardson though. Richardson, he had I think 17 points in the game that he got hurt. Outside of that, he would be somebody who's had 20 points in every game this year. But he got hurt at halftime, or he would have been there too.
We're including quarterbacks also.
It's any offensive player.
Anybody?
Are you looking it up?
Well, I'm looking at players. I'm not technically looking it up.
Yeah, don't look at. Yeah, you can look at players. Don't even look at players. Come on, you guys know this. This is not. This is terribly hard.
No, it's not Jordan
You know
Love because
this?
he scored 16 last week.
It's
but
not
he was
Jordan
on the 20
Love.
train.
He
on the 20
was.
train.
And he was like right at 20.
Yeah. Frick.
In every game this season or every game they've played?
Every game this season.
Okay. Just want to make sure it wasn't somebody
has
that like
one?
missed a game or something.
Oh,
It's
okay. I didn't know if you had
Brandon
known.
No,
Ayuk.
I
He
didn't
laid a
know of
big
anybody. I
goose
was
egg
just
at some
making sure there
point.
wasn't like a technicality or something.
So it's not Romeo Dubs. Nope.
It's not Brandon Ayuk.
The person I was thinking of is
Not
wrong.
Brandon Ayuk.
Amonra?
It's not Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra had 19 last week, I think.
Oh my god. Is it David
Damn.
Montgomery because he was hurt?
Yeah,
He got hurt a week.
he
No, this player has
Amon-Ra hasn't
played.
had a 20-point game at all.
No, he's had good games though.
Well,
Yeah, every game's been good. He just hasn't had a 20-point game. He hasn't had a huge game.
Was it Tyreek Hill?
It wasn't Tyreek Hill.
It's not Devin Achan
It's not Devon Achan.
because Raheem Mostert had the start of that, but then didn't this last week.
yeah.
I just want y'all to know there's nothing that is. Evans had 9 this last week, Caleb. There's nothing that makes me happier than when y'all can't get this. Makes me so happy.
It's not gonna be Travis Kelce. It's not gonna be Patrick. Josh Allen.
It's not Josh Allen. He had 8 points week 1, 8.04.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did have that terrible game with the Jets.
Because everybody you think of's always had a shit game.
Yeah. Yeah, who's had 20 each week? It obviously isn't someone on our roster.
Trey, are you clicking? I hear you're clicking.
Yeah, I'm looking for the answer. I'm not gonna figure it out.
Yeah, don't. Hey,
I'm not gonna guess.
don't say.
I will not say anything.
I'll give you a hint. This guy's obviously not on any of y'all's teams. He is rostered, and he has been started every week.
He has been started every week.
Let me confirm that, but
Not
I'm
Calvin Ridley, not
very
Travis
certain
Etienne,
that he has been started. Oh, you know what? Maybe he hasn't been started every week.
Would be kind of funny.
I could be wrong. Hold on. Maybe he wasn't started every week. Hang on. He was started week 1. Where is he at on here? He was started week 2. I think he was started every week. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer to start this guy. He was started week 3. He was started week 4. It's not Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had, I think, like a 15-point game somewhere along the way.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Yep.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Justin Herbert has scored. Let me get him pulled back up here. He has scored 20.86, 22.2, 28, 23. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, Herbie Kirby.
He's QB1.
He is QB1. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
I
he's
think
still
all
losing
those,
games.
all those
Boy.
players are number 1 at their respective position.
JJ, which it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Let me double check this.
They should.
Let me. Where's my?
Jefferson's barely got Keenan Allen in total points.
So I actually have. Yeah, that's right. Justin Herbert is up there. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey, then Justin Jefferson, and then Justin Herbert. Yeah, so that's the player profile for the week.
All right, I get
Nice
$1.
one. Any final thoughts from the group before we cut her loose? This has obviously been the longest one now at an hour and 7 minutes.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Chase's fault. It's Chase's fault.
Literally add me, and that goes 15 more minutes.
Well, when you just try and involve the Raiders in every single conversation possible,
I did
it's
one.
like, how can you not?
Literally one. I was tired of talking your shitty ass team. I thought I'd pull up my shitty ass team.
Makes sense. We are shooting the shit, but now we're talking about shitty teams, so it's fine.
I don't want to do it anymore, guys. I gotta piss and then I gotta go to sleep. So, wrap
Can't do
this up.
nothing with you. All right. Well, here you can be removed, so that way you can go shake hands with the general.
Don't remove me. I want to stay. I want to stick out to the end.
I gotta go too. I gotta piss.
All right.
See you,
Hey.
Caleb.
We'll see y'all next week.
See you guys.